Shalom. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Rakakudash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother, I am no other, from GMS Chicago, and this is going to be a quick lesson about on what's going on, alright, yeah, what's really not being reported in the news, but of what's happening right now currently, alright, and then these tariffs are now starting to take effect on the economy, right? Truckers are being laid off, and and what you're seeing right now is basically a domino effect, right? So we're gonna use an example. Let's say your body, right? Let's say that you got cut. Alright, you got like a scab or some shit, and all of a sudden, a dog pees on it. This is just for an example, but if a dog pees on your cut, it has some kind of rare disease, bacteria, whatever, and all of a sudden you get infected, right? It starts slowly but little, alright, your body starts to shut down, right? Because, your blood vessels are being affected. Right, and there's no way to cure that. So your body's shutting down, and you start to go yellow or pale, and you just drop down and die. It's just basically the same thing in what you're seeing right now. With the economy, right? Truckers are being affected, and matter of fact, a lot of them are getting laid off right now because they're not getting any cargo, right? Or many of them are just leaving the trucking industry because they're not earning shit, right? But the majority of them are getting laid off because nothing's really coming through, through the ports, right? But without further ado, I'm gonna just play this video and then go to the scriptures, because right now what we're seeing is a domino effect taking a toll on the U.S. economy right now, and all what's going to bring about is a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos, riots, right? And it's only going to get even worse from here on and out.
Okay, listen, I don't know where the market's going. I'm going to just leave it right there. I'm not going to keep beating it up. But guys, it's getting very, very scary out here. I'm not trying to fear monger once again, because I keep seeing somebody in the comment section talking about, oh, he's fear monger. He's trying to make us afraid. But hey, listen, this next video is crazy. Check this out.
Most of you are going to go out of business. That's the harsh truth. The fact of the matter is that over 100,000 companies, trucking companies, went out of business in the last 2 years. Everyone is expecting this big crash to happen, and let me tell you, it is going to happen. And I've been telling my friends about what's going on in the economy and in the world for over a decade now. And I've been getting ready for it when everybody has just been fucking trolling around, and this is what you get. It doesn't take more than a few Google searches just to understand that most of the wealth is concentrated all the way at the top. And if you have the smallest idea of how capitalism works, you understand that the rich are only going to get richer. Sure thing, we are going to have a little bit of recovery. Absolutely. But things are just going to continue to get worse. Inflation is going to continue to get worse. Your dollar is going to continue to get devalued. And the concentration of money is going to keep just going up to the top and the top and the top. Capitalism is not a nice game, alright? But it's the only game that we have. It's the only game that kind of works for some people.
I'm not panic buying. I'm just picking up essentials. I'm not panic buying. I'm just stocking up on essential items. I'm not panic buying. I'm just picking up essentials.
So, yeah, you just heard the guy in the video, and what you're seeing right now is a domino effect, and most of the items here in America that comes through the ports, that comes in, in them cargos, right, and containers and stuff like that these truckers be delivering and stuff, mainly all comes from China, right? And that's going to affect warehouses. It's going to affect businesses, factories, and so much more, and so much more. And there's gonna be a lot of unemployment too. A lot of people are gonna go. Uh, a lot of people are gonna get laid off, right? Because these companies are not gonna be able to receive the products that they can't from China. So um, that's happening, but nothing too that these truckers are also being laid off as well, and they don't show you that in the news. But yeah, a lot of these truckers are being laid off. Some of these truckers are not getting paid jack shit, and so some of them are even leaving the industry too, right? And and yeah, really, we're about to see hyperinflation kick in, and it's about to drive people nuts, right?
Essentials. I'm not panic buying. I'm just picking up essentials. This is my not panic buying haul. So we did spend $226, but most of the stuff will last me like the next 6 months, so it's not too bad.
You literally got Americans out here panic buying. Nah, he didn't stock up and go absolutely insane and hoard up all the products out there. But hey, you literally got Americans out here who are literally afraid because they're like, they don't know what the next 6 months is going to look like. The next year. They don't know what it's going to look like within the future, guys, because
Well, the things that are looking around. I mean, well, what's things that are taking place here on the earth and stuff, or what's happening currently, right, around the world. Especially for the future of America. I say uh, within 6 months or so, all hell will be breaking loose, right? Because of basically what the terrorists are doing right now to this economy and shit. But yeah, the Lord is definitely making big moves.
right now, it's looking very, very scary. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I even told my wife the other day, I'm like, hey, do we even need to stockpile like canned foods or goods or anything? Like, what is the plan? What do we see the next few months is coming, guys? And then even just sitting out and looking out, what do we have? What can we go ahead and buy right now while the prices are okay? Until the demand starts to grow, and then the stock, the availability, the supply and demand. That's the word I'm looking for. When the demand goes up and the supply goes down, that's when you start to see all the prices just skyrocket, guys. So, anyways, it's crazy out here.
And the stock market was great under Biden. Trump said that's because everybody was excited he was going to be president again. When the stock market is tanking under Trump, Trump says that's because of Biden. This is the motherfucker nobody wanted to be friends with in high school.
Trump is clearly senile. You want me to show you? Watch this.
You don't talk about the fact that gasoline.
But yeah, things are about to be insanely expensive, right? Let's go straight to the scriptures because that's what we're seeing, right now. All hell's about to break loose. A lot of people are about to go broke. A lot of people are about to go desperate. Right, because of what's taking place currently on this earth. But here's Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. And keepers of the house shall tremble is the keepers of the house is speaking about your economists, right? A lot of them are sounding the alarm, saying that it's not going to be looking so great for America's economy. All right, they can see that we're heading into a financial collapse here in the United States, right? And the grinder sees because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. And the grinding is going to be ceasing. All right, a lot of people are about to lose their jobs. All right, a lot of people are about to be homeless. They're not going to be able to have any source of income, and hyperinflation is going to kick in real soon. All right, because of because of the shortages of what we're about to see in a few weeks. All right. It says it says and those that look up the windows be darkened, and the future of America is not looking so bright. All right. We're heading into an economic depression. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And yeah, today's, the, there's no, the music industry is also going into shit, right? People are listening to garbage ass music. But yeah, at the same time, the grinding is going to cease, and it's not gonna be like the times that we're coming into is not gonna be. It's nothing going to be compared to any other time that we have ever experienced in history. Right, this is a time like no other that we're coming into. All right, a time of the time of Jacob's trouble. What says, well, that was it to that. Well, I'm not trying to make this too long, but I'm gonna bring you Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. Fuck. Says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And that's what we're about to see. Right? As soon as you walk in, your warehouses, for an example, Menards, Home Depot, your grocery stores, all right, the stores are about to go empty, right? They're about to look empty, and that's because there's gonna be no truckers being able to bring in your goods because these tariffs are taking a toll on the economy right now. All right, a lot of people are about to be jobless, and yeah, there will be chaos. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, and what shall I do when these evils shall come? And that's what we're about to see right now. Right, the beginning of sorrows, the beginning of mournings, the beginning of famine, and great death, and the beginning of wars, and yeah, that's what we're seeing right now. Right, not too long ago. All right, now Pakistan and India are at war with each other, and there's about to be famines in diverse places here in the United States because there's no truckers to be able to deliver your goods anymore because nothing's really coming through. Well, not enough items are coming through the ports, right? Nothing, no cargo is coming through. Right? There's barely any cargo coming through, and there's barely any workers being able to deliver them because a lot of them are getting laid off, and a lot of them are basically leaving the trucking industry because they're not being paid jack, and they're not able to make a living off of it. And basically, there are going to be food. Right? There's going to be items out there. All right, but in certain places, Right? It just won't be available to you. Right? Now, some people are not going to be able to reach the necessities that they need, by the local grocery stores, because those items are not coming through. But it says, the beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine, plague, and tribulation, tribulation or anguish are sent as scourges for an amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Yeah, all the calamity that you're about to see taking place here on this earth, it's really from the Lord, right? All these are sent, as scourges for amendment, right? But the scripture says, but for all these things they shall not turn from the wickedness. These our people are not going to be considering the Lord when these things take place, right? They're going to continue doing the wickedness, and at the same time, a lot of our people are about to get punished. Right, the Lord is about to bring forth mass judgment, right, heavy judgment upon 2/3 of our people. What says in verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Yeah, things are cheap now, but now, those times are coming to an end, to where you're not gonna, soon you're not gonna be able to get those items, your necessities that you used to be getting, or a large quantity of them, because there's a shortage of that specific product, or they might just have it, but it's gonna be insanely expensive that you're not gonna be able to afford it, right? And so then evils are gonna continue to grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So it's about to get rough out here in the streets of America. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And yeah, alright, there's gonna be a famine here in America. Right? Yeah, then there might be goods out there and shit, but it's just not gonna be available to you, right, at your location, because there's no truckers to deliver it to you. It says, and other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Hey, those who escape, right, the hunger, right, of starvation, right, ultimately at the end of the day, if you're not of the elect, alright, the missile's coming for your ass. Alright, and it's going to destroy Babylon the Great at the end of the day. And that is according to prophecy. But nonetheless, this was just it to that lesson. Alright, keep watch, because things are about to get rough. And yeah, shalom.